Oh, Wildman. Wildman.
Greetings and salutations, Papi.
Hey, how you doing?
It's December 31st, 2021.
Yep.
It's New Year's Eve.
Very nice.
2021 is slowly coming to a close.
Oh, yeah. And you know what that means?
What does it mean?
Tomorrow.
Well, I mean, initially, and I still am going to be celebrating it alone, but initially I was crying because I thought I was going to be celebrating the New Year in solitary confinement. I know,
Prison.
like you said. But in a way, I mean, it is a little bit like a prison because nobody interacts with me in here. I mean, rare, but as I said, I guess this year, the year 2021 has been the most successful year of my life. So don't cry about one day being... So, you know, in 2021, I performed stand-up comedy successfully. I took a comedy class and I successfully performed stand-up comedy. I sold artwork at an art gallery. I made new friends in New York City, in the mental health community. So while there is frustration, obviously every man at 34 years old doesn't want to be financially dependent on their parents. Every man at 34 years old wants an independent life, wants money, a girlfriend with the inevitable plan to start a family. I mean, a lot of men want a girlfriend and want to start a family. They want friends. They want a social life. So while it's great, I mean, you're here, early in the day to do artwork with me and stuff. Well, that's great, and I'm thankful. I mean, because right now my social life revolves around my elderly parents. More specifically, my dad, because my mom and stepdad, I mean, they don't really interact with me. They leave me in here alone, and I mean, I realize they have their
which is a good thing because you wanted, when you were living under the same roof as they were, you said you wanted your freedom. You wanted to be by yourself. You didn't like
right.
them around. So this is now a positive. You have a place where it is your own. You have your freedom to do what you want. I mean, that's a positive. You look at it as a negative, but this is what you wanted to advance yourself, and now you're looking at it as a negative.
Right. Ideally, I want a life with peers my age. But I mean, no 34-year-old. I mean, solitude is frustrating because obviously I would love to be celebrating the holiday with somebody and having a life. But I think being in their part of the house, a small house, constantly around your mother and stepdad, everybody, I mean, they look at things about me as burdensome, like the fact that I'm still dependent on them at this age, and constant hostility, and to be honest with you, it was like hell on earth living in there, and that was the reason I began living in a fantasy land, and I think the thing is, solitude. Well, that leads to fantasies and daydreams. The key to recovery, the key to not living in a daydream world alone in your head constantly, is to socialize, to make friends, to have social skills. And obviously there's a lot of things that are preventing me from socializing, such as extreme self-consciousness. I think everybody looks at me critically. I have crippling social anxiety, and don't cry. And even the friends I met this year, I mean, they were a little bit like, parental figures who were, almost doing it for me. So obviously I think my New Year's resolution in 2022 is to take charge of my life independently of friends, independently of parents, to make my life happen. Yeah, I mean, I took stand-up comedy by myself and I succeeded in that, but my friends were pushing me to do that. I sold artwork, but it was thanks to friends pushing me, and I'm really appreciative of these friends pushing me to succeed. But, maybe these friends won't be present in 2022, and obviously if you want success, you need to do it yourself. You can't expect your mother to do it. You can't expect friends to do it. If you want to succeed, you have to take charge of your life. So, and I constantly cry about sitting in solitary confinement. And you know what? I mean, that's nobody's fault besides my own. My mom is not holding me prisoner in here. She is not sabotaging friendships. She is not sabotaging girlfriends. The reason I'm not socializing is because I lack social skills. I lack self-esteem. I feel like this buffoon in the real world, this guy who's wearing the mask of social anxiety. I have the desire to socialize, but I don't know how to socialize. And
I think you're too negative on yourself, and you're looking for only the negative. Because, I mean, what about all the times you went into the city and you met friends and you socialized? What about all the times you went out east and you met people in Brooklyn and you went to Central Park and you met people? You know what? You see, you're looking at every situation as a negative situation, just like living in your own apartment.
I know. Enough with the self-pity. Enough with the crying. Obviously, the friends were very, very beneficial in my recovery. They helped me almost like parental figures. But
you helped yourself.
But I helped myself too. If I did not push through my anxiety, if I did not push through my agoraphobia, to be perfectly honest with you, I never would have had these wonderful experiences. My experiences with my friends in the mental health community were the best experiences of my life, because I felt like in my teenage years and 20s, I was deprived of friendships. I was solitary for the most part. And you know what? I was having the best experiences of my life.
But what about your comedy? I mean,
my comedy. Initially, I was having really bad anxiety with the comedy class, and I was not going to take it. But my friends, thankfully, were pushing me to take it, and I did take it. And I created the jokes myself. I had a little bit of help from the comedy college teacher, but. He gave me some punchlines, but overall, everything I was creating was coming from me. It was my concepts, it was my ideas.
But what about performing on a stage?
Performing on stage.
Was it them or was it you?
It was me. I was performing on stage. So I mean, stop with the self-pity. When I put the key to 2022 is living in the real world. I can create art on social media, scream, throw temper tantrums on social media, and obviously my social media art is getting very attention-grabbing, it's getting very, very good, but that is not my ticket to Hollywood superstardom. My ticket to Hollywood, I mean, that's a fantasy land too. Like Dr. Natural says, daydreaming you're going to be a Hollywood movie star by posting on social media is an unrealistic pipe dream. It doesn't happen for anybody. And, I guess it's not impossible. I mean, there are people who get the jobs. I mean, who get plucked from anonymity and get cast for movies. I mean, it's not like they're discovering aliens. These are real people that get discovered for Hollywood movie roles. I mean, look at some of these movie stars. But I guess the point is, if you live in the real world, if you socialize with people in real life, you're much more likely to get your dream job than if you scream and shout on social media. And I guess the key to 2022 is, I made a lot of progress and I have my friends to thank for that. But in 2022, I need to continue to make progress, but do it independently. Don't wait for somebody to live my life for me. Do it myself.
That's correct.
And that is what?